Thank you. I'm sorry that I have come late.
You're never late, Mr. President. You're never late. Mr. President, there is no official celebration of 10 years since independence. Why?
Well, there is, but because of the sanctions on South Sudan has made us poor, although we believe that we are rich. But all the punishments leveled on us did not make us to prosper the way we had wanted. This is why we are not celebrating the 10th anniversary the way people would have wanted to be. People are hungry, and whatever resources that we have can be mobilized for the celebrations. That will disappoint our people. So it is better that very few people, like the diplomats, the MPs, can just come and sit, and then I give my word to the people. That is all.
Yeah. The sanctions would only be lifted when the killing stops, Mr. President. That's what the outside world keeps saying. The killing has to stop.
Well, so far we are not fighting all the opposition. Those who were fighting me are now in Juba, and I'm the one protecting them. So there is no killing.
Outside of Juba, when they talk about, the relationship between your tribe, the Dinka, and Riek Machar's tribe, the Nuer, they say the relationship, the tensions are extremely high.
They are the most peaceful people now. My village borders the Nuer of Riek Machar himself, because he comes from Unity State, I come from Warab. These are the two bordering states. We don't have any problem. The crimes are everywhere. A criminal from Nuer can cross the border to come and commit any crime that he wants to commit. Either he takes the cows or he kills people. The same thing can be done by a Dinka man from Warab or from any state of Dinkas, and can cross to Nuer district and then commit whatever crime that he wants to commit. So it is something natural. Even in Kenya, I believe it is there.
A lot of cattle rustling, yes. But Mr. President, what would you like to tell the UN? What would you like to tell the international community in order to get these sanctions lifted?
The international community should give us a room to do our things. One is the issue of the sanctions. And then now they have added on it the arms embargo. Arms embargo have tied our hands because we are supposed to implement the agreement which we have signed. Now implementing the agreement, we ask them to lift the arms embargo so that we can buy arms for the people who are in the training centers to be graduated. I told even my colleagues in the region to plead to the UN Security Council to lift the arms embargo. Now they are telling me to implement the agreement. The implementation of the agreement cannot be complete without arming the unified forces. The unified forces are brought from all the groups that were fighting. Group of Riek Machar, group of Sawa, group of... Anyway, all these people are supposed to be armed. And if they are armed, then the agreement would have been completely implemented.
There are those who say there's too many arms out there. There's too many arms out there. Too
Where?
many under the arms, under the ordinary people across this country.
Well, can they go and disarm those people and bring me arms? Is it easy?
No.
These are the arms they bought. Somebody sacrificed his cows to buy a gun to come and protect himself with it. He cannot give it easily like that. For us, we believe that if we were to complete the implementation of the peace agreement, we will have to think of how to get arms out of the civil hands. And the only way to get them out is like buying them off from them. That to tell a person that if you give us your gun, you will be given this. This is not, for the first time.
Yeah, it seems a lot of frustration there, Mr. President.
Yes.
On your part.
Yes.
When you say your hands are tied, it feels like...
Yes, not by the people. It is by the international community. This is why I have 5 vice presidents. Those who did not even fire a single bullet were brought in and said they are partners in the peace agreement. Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel?
Well, what can I do? I just allow them to do what they had wanted to do. Now, when you take a cow to a slaughterhouse, will it have any complaint? This is what they were doing. They were doing it that, they want to force me out of this office. And so...
Why not just walk away from it all then? You can walk away. You've done your bit.
Where?
Walk away. Retire.
Where do I walk? I walk home, where I sleep. That will not be a solution. Do you know, Jeff? One day, somebody from the opposition released in the social media that I have died. I was sitting in my office, but that media went wild outside. Do you know what happened? Everybody started running away from Juba.
Because?
Because I'm dead. I'm reported dead. People said, well, if he is dead, then there will be chaos in Juba, and nobody will tell people to stop killing. This is the only person who does not like killing a human being.
So you're saying you are the only person who can keep peace in this place?
No. Other people can keep peace, but that moment I was central. I have to come out of my office and went in an open car to toward Juba so that I show myself. And I told people that I'm alive.
So what would happen to South Sudan if you were not there? What would happen? Would it break up into pieces?
I don't know. So far I'm still there. And if, God forbids, if there is another war, it would not be good. But I hope it doesn't happen.
You say that almost like it's inevitable. It'll happen at some point. Is that your biggest fear?
Well, there are people who are still bloodthirsty, who would want to see people dying in South Sudan. I don't subscribe to that. And I think it will not happen.
But it could.
God forbid.
10 years from now, Mr. President, where do you see this country? 10 years from now.
10 years from now, if South Sudanese accept themselves to stay peacefully, after 10 years, South Sudan would be a great country. Yes.
That's a very big if. It's up to you're trying to say it's up to the people.
Yes. The people, if they don't fight again, there must be if there. If people accept themselves to stay in peace, after 10 years to come, South Sudan will be a change and a great country.
Yeah. But the first 10 years have been a disappointment.
Yes, there has been disappointment because of the fighting, unreasonable fighting. There was no reason for all this war. Soon after the independence, 2 years after the independence, we called for an investment conference, which was attended by more than 600 wealthiest companies, and everybody pledged what to do. Those who were going for infrastructure, to build roads, those who were going for power, and all that. And that it was going to start in December, in January. But soon in December, we had a coup. This is what brought us to this stage.
Yeah, it boils down to your oil wealth, Mr. President. You know that. The oil has been more a curse than a blessing here.
It has become a curse. It has become a curse because it is not only oil that we have many other resources. Minerals are many. But there are people who think that it should be done under their leadership. The oil we are producing is not the capacity that we should produce per day or a month. Simply because We are restricted by Khartoum simply because the pipeline may not take the quantity that we want to pump out per day.
Yeah. And what is the relationship with Khartoum?
Pardon?
What is the relationship with Khartoum?
We are good. Our relations are good.
Uganda.
Uganda is very good with us.
But you're disappointed with Kenya. They could have done more.
Well, I'm not really disappointed because President Uhuru is leading his country and he thinks that by appeasing the rebels in my country, that may pay him back good. Because these people projected themselves as the leaders of the SPLM, and that they were the people who fought the war. It is not true. It was not true. They just deceived the neighbors. Maybe except Museveni, that they did not deceive. Because Museveni knew us when we were fighting.
That's why he remains a close ally.
Well, you said it.
And the man who started it all, who overlooks, who oversees, we see him, his picture everywhere. Dr. John Garang de Mabio, he's overseeing, he's overlooking all of this. And I'm sure where he's sitting, he is not happy with how his country has turned out. He's not happy.
Nobody is happy. He is dead. We who are alive are not happy. And we cannot stop it because it is we who are doing all this row.
And who do you blame? Don't you blame yourselves? Who do you have to blame? It's yourselves.
We will have to blame those who took the responsibility upon themselves to ignite this fire. Yes.
And looking forward, looking ahead, Mr. President, what do you tell the people of South Sudan to give them hope? What do you tell the 10-year-olds who were born in the year of independence? What do you tell people out there who still cling on to a bit of hope? What do you tell them?
Yes, I will tell people of South Sudan to hope for the best, because our plans to in the implementation of the agreement, the revitalized agreement has to be implemented. And if it is implemented, everything will be implemented sequentially.
And if not?
There is nothing impossible. The agreement will have to be implemented because this is the only hope of the people of South Sudan. If there is anybody who is against the implementation of the agreement, then people should ask that person. And why did I accept the 5 vice presidents? Do you have in your country?
No.
Yes?
No.
The last time when there was turmoil in Kenya was 1992.
2007, 2008. 2007, 2008. Post-election.
Because of elections. I mean, in 1992, there was something.
Yes, there was turmoil. 97.
But that thing did not stop Kenya from progressing. Yes, these things are happening in South Sudan, but if people stop from I don't attack you, you don't attack me, you don't attack anybody. That thing will be history.
Yeah. So what is it that's stopping? I mean, I don't understand this. What's stopping people from violence or from continuing the peace? What's stopping them? Is it greed? Is it corruption? What is it that stops people from implementing the peace?
Well, the peace agreement is implementable. Although I said many times that the people who designed this peace agreement did not want it to be implemented. Because when you count people, there is no half a person, or there is no a fraction of a person that you can make. But in this agreement, there are halves, so many halves. But where will you cut the person into two?
When it comes to holding people accountable, you're talking about a hybrid court. What is that?
Well, hybrid court, it was we who signed it, that there will be such a court. What we say is that hybrid court will not solve the problems of South Sudan. For example, in any court you need the criminals so that you put them to justice. In this situation, you cannot bring justice or you cannot bring peace through hybrid court. We would want the truth and reconciliation process to start. Because if it is just a matter of punishing those who committed, you may assume that these are the people who committed atrocities against other people. First, those who might have done that may be found, may not be found, or they may be very strong and cannot, in any case, remain to wait for the trial. They may just pack and go back to the bush with their forces. This, for us, we think that the scenario of truth and reconciliation would be the best.
And what do you tell people who say there's too many generals here, too many generals without armies?
Yeah, those people, these are the people, if one of them becomes a criminal indicted to the hybrid court, what do you think he will do? He will take any hungry person on the streets of Juba and will march to the bush with them.
What is your biggest fear, Mr. President? You. What's your biggest fear?
It is the international community who would come in to enforce what they think is the solution, to enforce it on the people by force, because they are mighty, and that thing will not solve the problem.
And your greatest hope?
My greatest hope is that the international community should turn their might in supporting the implementation of the revitalized peace agreement.
Mr. President, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for inviting us back to Juba. And happy 10th anniversary, if one can say that.
You're most welcome.
And I hope, 10 years from now, we can still talk, huh?
Yes.
Before you leave, Mr. President, we have been in Juba, folks. Jeff Koinange live, coming to you from Juba, the capital of South Sudan, as the country celebrates 10 years of independence. Thanks so much for joining us. Remember, Jeff Koinange Live is powered by Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered, join Standard Chartered, because your priorities get our priority. And also, JKL is powered by Johnny Walker. That's right, Johnny Walker. 200 years of blended Scotch excellence. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLIVE. Thanks for joining us. Good night, good luck. And God bless the people of South Sudan. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your time.